Hi, welcome back to our Sunday night story time, and we're so excited to be back. It was a beautiful day. We hope everybody had a great day. And again, we're so grateful for everybody that's tuning in. It makes us so happy to know that kids and grown-ups are really enjoying this, and we love it too. One of our bedtime rituals has always been reading. I have books of favorite poetry that I love to read to Ladybug. So this is Ladybug. You may have met her in one of our very first Facebook Lives. We're back home again this evening. We had a pretty crazy day, a pretty crazy weekend, right, Ladybug? And tonight's Facebook story is all about Ladybug. And it's a little poem I wrote for her called Ladybug Snores. And I don't know if anybody else out there snores, but she can really snore. She has a lot of different kinds of snores too. She has a whistly kind of a snore. She has the kind of a snore of if you were driving for a long time on a flat tire. And I don't think she'd mind me sharing this because I have a feeling she's not alone in the world. I don't snore, but I do talk in my sleep. Anyhow, this poem is a true story. Completely true. She's a thumbprint Blenheim and a King Charles Cavalier, and she has a thumbprint on top of her head. And there's a nice little story that over in England during one of the very early wars, a duchess and a duke had a Cavalier, King Charles, and she was about to have puppies. And the duke went away to war, and the duchess was always petting her puppy, finding comfort, and she'd always rest her thumbprint atop of her Cavalier's head. When the little puppies were born, they were all born with a little thumbprint on top of all of their heads. And I love that story, and I think I believe that story. It's the first time they ever saw the beautiful little thumbprint. I don't know if I can get Ladybug to show you, because she does have a few little neck and head problems. But anyways, I can't wait to share my poem with you. So I am going to start and open up. Let's see. Okay, Ladybug. Oh, Ladybug, where are you going? Okay. Ladybug doesn't last very long, especially when she's warm. Okay, so here we go. It's called Ladybug Snores. Okay, Ladybug Snores. Your whistle-like snores, your mile-high sighs, are my favorite lullabies. Your thumbprint sits atop of your head as you dream and rest upon my bed. My bended knee and your little head is where I feel you've made your bed. I wake in the night with such a fright. If no lullaby I hear, then I peek with a turn of my cheek, and I see there is nothing to fear. The end. It's a short little poem, and it's a true story, because I do wake up sometimes when I don't think I can hear her snoring, and I check on her, and I realize she's okay. And so I'm very lucky. She's 11 and a half. She's going to be 12. And so as far as sleeping goes, she does have her favorite little spot as she curls up, and she does have her cute little snores and little sighs. And I'm glad that you joined us this evening. We hope you enjoyed our little sleep time poem. And another little funny thing about sleeping, I always talked in my sleep. Ladybug snores in her sleep, so some of us snore, some of us talk. My brother, one of my brothers, used to walk in his sleep. And when he was about 6 years old, he went out of my parents' home and was walking to the elementary school. We didn't live far from the elementary school. And it was nighttime, and it was winter time. And I remember waking up, and so this is before they, had a big security alarm, and it was set every night. And so he took off, And I remember going out of the house, and the grass was covered in frost, heavy frost. So the grass was laying down. It was a full moon. I was probably about 12 or 13 years old. And the moon lit up the frost like 1,000 little stars on the ground. And then there's my brother in his ET pajamas and his strawberry blonde hair, with his eyes closed in the middle of someone else's yard, on his way to elementary school, jumping up and down, going, "Ooh, it's cold, it's cold." And I remember thinking, he must have ice cream headaches in his feet. And I'll never forget that night. It was so long ago when he was just a little boy, again with his ET pajamas, dancing a little walking sleep dance in very frosty grass. So sleep is a pretty fascinating thing, whether we snore or talk or walk in our sleep. I don't know where we're going with all of that, but it is pretty interesting and fascinating. Thank you for joining us for another sleep story. I am going to be working on a really cool story about the hounds at Myopia. They're all very special hounds. And for those of you who are not familiar, Google Myopia Hounds. It's a wonderful place. It's really a family. The hounds, the horses, the people. It's so fascinating. And all those hounds, they're not dogs, they're hounds. And they have a lovely purpose in life, and they love their purpose. And they're all characters, so I'm really excited to introduce you to some of my friends, some of my hound friends, and I think we'll even have a sleep story one night soon from their kennels. They live in a beautiful little world, and they're really a fun group where they all snuggle with each other, they'll pile up on top of each other, they go for walks every day. They take walks, they go on hound walks, and they're healthy and they're beautiful, and I think they're fascinating, and I hope you will too. So stay tuned for that story. We have a couple other fun poems coming ahead too with summertime. Again, thank you for tuning in and listening to Ladybug Snores, and I hope you all rest up, get a good night's sleep, because tomorrow's a big day. Again, we're very grateful for you and for tuning in, and we hope that these stories and poems bring you some calm and some peace and some joy at the end of sometimes a crazy day. Take good care. Thank you for listening.